wasn't lying when I posted earlier on Facebook that today is exactly the kind of day that it was 27 November 5th ago when Hannah was born. I had filled my pickup truck, my little S10, yeah, S10 full of firewood the day before. We must have been done in the field. We had a really nice fireplace in our house, even though it was the crappiest house on the block. And I remember thinking, great, it's getting soaked. All this firewood, I'm going to have to wait for weeks to use it when it dries out. And little did I know that day was going to be one of the greatest days of my life. Woke up that morning when Rhonda got up at about, but wait, stop. You can find anything on Amazon. Look at this. On air. Not Tom Zabarak, kids. I got this on Amazon. You can barely hear me because my microphone is so great that it only, if I'm close, it gets it. But I got this thing, and I'm so jacked about it. And then you can't even see it. You can't tell that it says on air when I turned it on. I sure hope Rhonda doesn't watch this because she's going to try to convince me to send it back and say, Jeff Bezos, give us our money back. If I hold it here and like slowly pull it away, it will focus on it, but I'm not doing that every time. So if only I knew a technology director who could possibly help me out, then maybe I could get it going correctly, but that bums me out. So anyway, back to it. 4 a.m. on November 5th, 1997, Rhonda gets up earlier than normal. Rhonda worked at a bank in Macomb, about the same distance that we live away from the bank that she works at right now. And she was up super early. She didn't need to be up that early. And I wasn't sure why she was up. So I said, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you up so early? And she goes, and her reply was, I think something's going on. Well, we were 13 days away from becoming parents if you go by the projection that you're given. So it didn't even cross my mind when I woke up that morning. And again, remember, like I said, we were probably done in the field. I didn't have to hurry to the farm or whatever. And it didn't register in my head until I lay there for a little bit, turn on Sports Center, and, well, of course, see that. And how I remember this is so dumb, but the Lakers beat the Sacramento Kings. Surprise, surprise. Shaq and Kobe days. And I just remember watching the highlights of that. And then it hits me. She's talking about me becoming a dad. She's telling me that I'm going to become a dad before very long. And you hear these stories about how it takes forever and you go to the hospital and everything. And so I get up, get ready to go. We head to the hospital, and I am as nervous as I think I have ever been. I have said multiple times as a boys basketball coach, I don't say it as the girls coach so much because it's different. But I remember telling the boys, like, if you think you're nervous right now for this game, wait till you're in that delivery room and it's on. You're going to know what nervous is. This ain't nothing. This is putting a ball in a basket, throwing that silly orange ball through the hoop. Wait till you're, because I'm not lying. I've never been as nervous as I was that with Hannah, ever. And I paid attention in the Lamaze class or whatever we went to, but I just remember that when they started telling us where we were at dilation wise and things like that, we woke up at 4. And I texted Rhonda this morning to ask her when Hannah was born before I made my post, so I didn't misspeak. Hannah was born at 8:49 on November 5th, 1997. We got to the hospital somewhere around 6 to 6:30 a.m. So, yeah, it went 100 miles per hour. And I had all of these things in my head. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. They told me to give Rhonda ice chips. I'm going to do whatever. I just was going to do whatever Rhonda told me to do. Those of you who know my beautiful, super duper wife, small thing, quiet in your mind, not very opinionated in your mind. And I'm just doing whatever she tells me to do. Some of the nurses were like, maybe your wife would like some ice chips. And I didn't say it, but I was thinking, maybe you don't know my wife. If my wife wants ice chips, she'll tell me she wants ice chips. Those are my memories. It cracks me up how they told me how to deal with my wife. And I know that's what they did for a living, but I knew my best friend and I knew what she wanted and didn't want, and she would tell me. And I don't think that little girl, woman, 20 or not 20. Well, yeah, what were we, 20s? Were we 27? Yeah. I think we were Hannah's age right now when we had her. I'm probably off and it's math, so I'm not trying to figure it out. But I just remember she squeezed my hand so hard that day. I thought she was going to break my fingers. And it was one of the greatest moments of my life. That kid changed everything. She was the first grandkid from Denny and Michelle Wherley. She was the first grandkid for Lyle and Dorothy Arnett. The first niece of Christy Wherley, Darren Arnett. She changed everything. And I've said this and I've written this a million times. My kids aren't special. They're not any better than anybody else. I've tried very hard not to brag on my kids because my kids are just like me. Some days they're up, some days they're down. But that day, that little girl, she changed everything. And I will always look back on that day and think multiple things, the things I've already said. I went to basketball practice later in the day when that little girl was born. I took that little girl to basketball practice about 2 weeks down the road. I went to basketball practice the day she was born because the year before I had lost every game. I was a middle school boys coach. And the year she was born was the first year of South Fulton basketball. And I was coaching a kid named Cole Fogelsong that I named my son Cole after. And Corey Palm and Trevor Rushell and Jason Cooper and Keith Chenoweth and Brandon Gunter and Caleb Sheets and Jake Holmes and Derek Prather. And gosh, I don't think I missed anybody. I hope I didn't. I'm trying to see that picture in my head. And I went to practice that day, and I remember getting to Astoria. Practice was in Astoria. And Coach Keene, I told him that I became a dad that day, and I won't use the language he used, but he said, Wherley, what are you doing here? And I'm just lucky that Rhonda yesterday forgave me for going to basketball practice 27 years ago on the day my daughter was born. I can say that I've clearly mellowed out as a coach from where I was back then, but what a day. What a day. Those of you that have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You love all of them, but there's something about that first one. There's something about that first time of realizing that your life has just changed and you've been given a responsibility that you cannot even fathom. And I'm so proud of that kid. She's made her own way. She's found something she loves. She's found the person she loves. And like I posted today, her wedding day was the best day ever. My wedding day was, as the kids would say, my wedding day was mid. Her wedding day, I don't know if there's been a better day other than the day she came along. So this episode dedicated to one of the loves of my life, my sweetheart of a daughter. I cannot wait to celebrate this weekend your birthday and your grandmother Michelle's birthday. And as always, life is good today. It's going to be good tomorrow. And it's going to be great on the weekend. Dear friends, take care. We'll see you.